this podcast be a mini course for people who want to know about graphology,
For sure.
or let's say who want to come to this field.
Right.
So after this course, after this podcast, so to say course, they can read few books, uh, go much deeper if we plan further to make it as a series, and they can go into graphology and become a graphologist.
Right. For me, when graphology is one thing that I did out of interest, and as far as I remember, I was a very young kid at that time that I got to know about graphology. Right now, there are a lot of people who know about graphology already, but for me, it was CID. When I was a kid, I used to watch CID, and there was this episode where Dr. Tarika, the tall, curly girl, curly hair girl, she was analyzing somebody's suicide note, and that is when she could figure out what was the state of the mind of that person who committed suicide. And that is what blew my mind. Oh my god, is that actually a thing? And that is when I knew, okay, this is something. And I just went forward with my life, with my school. I was a little kid, as I said, and I got to know about graphology just like that when I was maybe scrolling Instagram, and that is when I reconnected the dots. Okay, I know about it. Let's search about it. And then I saw things about it, and that is when I knew it's called graphology. I didn't even know if it's called graphology. And graphology, like we said, let's take it as a mini course. Graphology is actually analyzing or decoding somebody's personality through their handwriting. A lot of people have that taboo that you can tell about person's past, you can tell about person's current situation, or you can tell about somebody's future, like it's some
Like it's astrology.
yeah, exactly. People actually consider, not consider, but they do get confused sometimes when we talk about graphology. Oh, tell me my future. It's like that. Because I remember when I first introduced this to my family, my parents, okay, tell me, what do you think? What is in my future? And I told them, because if they can think about it, it can come in anybody's mind, right? It's a very, human thing to think of it that way. So,
But with the traits that are seen in handwriting,
right.
if I'm not wrong, vaguely we can predict how the future is gonna be.
You can sum up, because when you can decode somebody's personality, you can of course, sum up, oh, if you are that kind of a personality, this is where you lead to.
So if you are a confident personality, a leadership personality, and
Exactly.
these things are there,
Exactly.
then you go towards that way.
Right. You can always tell what profession can be suitable for you. You can always tell them, you can always analyze, but you cannot just predict, okay, you will become this. You cannot just be sure, okay, you have these leadership qualities, you will become a leader. No. You can become a leader, because of course, to reach a certain point, you have to work on yourself. You have to take a few steps, and we cannot just predict a future for somebody.
So people actually go to classes of graphology.
Right.
Not to say graphology, they call it cursive writing courses.
Exactly.
And they learn how to write properly.
Yeah.
They learn how their handwriting can be more attractive or beautiful.
Correct.
For others to read.
Right.
I'm sorry if I'm wrong.
No, go
but
ahead.
Will that affect their character as well if their handwriting changes?
Okay. So, as you said, to beautify the handwriting so it looks good and everything, there is no such thing as a good handwriting. That's a first. The other thing is,
I want to thank you for this statement because as a doctor, we are usually said that your handwriting is worse.
I know. I mean, you cannot even read what handwriting it is. You cannot read what you have prescribed it to me, right? You'll always go to the chemist, and only they can read what you've written, right? No normal human being can read it.
I think we write a word with
Right.
just 3 characters, and
Right.
others are just strings.
Strings, exactly. That
So
is.
if it's
yeah.
paracetamol, it's P, T, and L. And the person understands that
Right.
it's paracetamol.
Paracetamol, and rest all of these alphabets are just strings.
Exactly.
So I'll tell you a fact about it. So it happens whenever. It's not just doctors. Of course, it applies more to doctors and they can resonate to it more. But lot of people who have the stringy kind of handwriting, that means that their mind is working faster than their brain. That is why they are not putting an effort to complete the whole alphabet, the all the letters and everything. They're just putting it because it's for them and it's for the chemist. So they don't have to, make others happy by writing the whole alphabets. They don't care.
They just want the work to be completed.
Exactly, because their mind is working so fast that they don't care if their hand is doing the job or not. So yeah, that is another fact. So whenever if anybody comes up to you and tell you, oh my god, Nitin, you have the worst handwriting ever, what have you written, just tell them, okay, I'm sorry, but I'm a very smart person, my mind is working faster than my hand, so just back off. You can just tell them that. You can record this clip and show it to them. Okay, if you don't believe me, look at this.
Yeah. Here's a graphologist saying the same thing.
Graphologist saying the same thing. So yeah, just go for it. You have a comeback now. So just use it. So coming to the question that you said, will it affect the personality of a person if they try to beautify their handwriting or work on their handwriting? I would say there are correctional ways that where you can correct your handwriting, and people do ask for tips. Okay, you told me this is not. This is where I'm lacking in my handwriting. That is why that describes that behavior of mine or that personality trait of mine. But at the same time, you cannot force your personality by your handwriting. You have to work on yourself. That's called inner work, right? Where will the inner work stand if you can correct everything through your handwriting?